after it was learned that his campaign called voters during the caucuses, telling them that Ben Carson had dropped out of the race, saying that CNN had reported this and encouraging them, therefore, to switch their votes from Ted Cruz to Ben Carson. Take a listen to what Ted Cruz said when he was questioned about that at tonight's debate.
Dr. Carson, thank you. Senator Cruz, you have said that Dr. Carson and his wife have become friends of yours. I'm curious why you didn't call ahead of time to either the doctor or his wife, or have your campaign check in with the other campaign before sending out those messages.
Ben is a good and honorable man, and Ben and Candy have become friends. He has an amazing life story that has inspired millions, including me. When this transpired, I apologized to him then, and I do so now. Ben, I'm sorry. Let me tell you the facts of what occurred for those who are interested in knowing. On Monday night, about 6:30 p.m., CNN reported that Ben was not going from Iowa to New Hampshire or South Carolina. Rather, he was, quote, taking a break from campaigning. They reported that on television. CNN's political anchors, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash and Wolf Blitzer, said it was highly unusual and highly significant. My political team saw CNN's report breaking news, and they forwarded that news to our volunteers. It was being covered on live television. Now, at the time, I was at the caucuses. I was getting ready to speak at the caucuses, just like Ben was, just like everyone else was. I knew nothing about this. A couple hours later, I found out about it. I was told that Ben was unhappy. I called him that evening because I respect him very, very highly. I didn't reach him that evening. I reached him the next day and apologized. He asked me then, he said, Ted, would you make this apology in public? I said, yes, I will. And I did so. I regret that subsequently CNN reported on that. They didn't correct that story until 9:15 that night. So from 6:30 p.m. to 9:15, that's what CNN was reporting. Subsequent to that initial report, Ben's campaign put out a statement saying that he was not suspending his campaign. I wish that our campaign staff had forwarded that statement. They were unaware of it. I wish that they had. That's why I apologized.
Senator Cruz, thank you.
In fact, the timeline indicates that initial tweet from CNN was followed by another one within 1 minute that clarified that I was not dropping out. So what happened to that one, it is unclear. But the bottom line is we can see what happened. Everybody can see what happened, and you can make your own judgment.
Dr. Carson, thank you.
All right, so let's give you the facts about what happened. First, I want to give you CNN's statement on what Ted Cruz said just moments ago in that debate. Here it is. What Senator Cruz said tonight in the debate is categorically false. CNN never corrected its reporting because CNN never had anything to correct. The Cruz campaign's actions the night of the Iowa caucuses had nothing to do with CNN's reporting. The fact that Senator Cruz continues to knowingly mislead the voters about this is astonishing. And again, that's the statement out from CNN just moments ago. All right, I want to go straight to Tom Foreman now. So, Tom, you're going to give us a reality check here. I've interviewed the co-chairman of that campaign. I called him to account. Others have as well. What Ted Cruz says here is completely false. Tell us exactly what happened.
Aaron, at no time did CNN say that Ben Carson was dropping out of this race. Not online, not on air, not anywhere. And for Ted Cruz to stand on stage once again tonight and suggest that CNN did is a flat-out lie. This is what was tweeted shortly before the caucuses opened that evening about Ben Carson's travel plans by R. Chris Moody. He tweeted, Ben Carson will likely speak at his victory party in Iowa before caucus results are in so he can catch a flight. Then he added, Carson won't go to New Hampshire, South Carolina, but instead will head home to Florida for some R&R. He'll be in D.C. Thursday for the National Prayer Breakfast. And then this. Ben Carson's campaign tells me he plans to stay in the race beyond Iowa no matter what the results are tonight. All three of those tweets came out in less than 2 minutes before the caucuses even opened. And 45 minutes later, Moody hit it again by saying, folks, Ben Carson is just making a brief stop at home in Florida tonight, and campaign says he'll be back on the campaign trail by Wednesday. Yes, our on-air people came on and they talked about this. They said it's an unusual move by Ben Carson or any presidential candidate to not go directly on to New Hampshire. But again, In no way, shape, or form did they say that Ben Carson was dropping out of the race. Executives from CNN have been over this timeline with people from Cruz's campaign. The campaign has been called out for its dishonest handling of this information by Politico, PolitiFact, The Washington Post, and many others. And yet, once again, Ted Cruz stood on stage tonight and suggested that somehow this is based on what CNN did, and all CNN did was report the facts. His claim is false. It was false from the get-go, and it remains false. Aside from that, you can find out many of the other things we checked in tonight's debate by going to CNN.com.